Okay, we'll call our regular meeting to order. And starting with section 1.1, acknowledgement of treaties of peace and friendship. We would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather and is the traditional unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq peoples. This territory is covered by the treaties of peace and friendship, which Wolastoqey, Mi'kmaq, and Passamaquoddy peoples first signed with the British Crown in 1726. The treaties did not deal with the surrender of lands and resources, but in fact recognized Mi'kmaq and Wolastoqey title and established the rules for what was to be as ongoing relationships between nations. And now we'll go on to 1.2, reaffirm our oath of office. We do hereby accept the office of counsel and will diligently, faithfully, and impartially discharge to the best of our ability the duties of the office as may be imposed upon us by law. Section 1.3, moment of reflection, July 15, 2026. We'd like to acknowledge people who have passed: David Culligan of Beldoon, Ann Culligan of Beldoon, Debbie Lapointe of Nash Creek, Troy Buckle of Beldoon, husband to our clerk treasurer Angela Buckle, Chris Furlot of Beldoon, and Dorothy Richard of Beldoon. Now we'll move on to section 2, adoption of the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions? So we'll move on to, so we'll need a mover.
I move that the agenda be adopted as presented.
Second?
I second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Statements of conflict of interest? None? Okay. So we'll move on to section 4, adoption of the minutes, regular minutes for May 19th, 2026. So I'll ask for a mover.
The regular council meeting of May 19, 2026 be adopted as presented.
Have a seconder?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Any business arising from the minutes? Okay, we just move on. Okay. Section 5, presentations, petitions, and delegations. Any presentations? Nil. So we'll move on to statements by members of council, and starting with Councillor Cormier.
Okay, under procedural bylaw and council remuneration bylaw review, motion 65, that the council with administration commence the review and updating of the procedural bylaw and the council remuneration bylaw with the deadline of August regular meeting for the first and second readings and the September regular meeting for the third reading and adoption.
Can I have a motion or a seconder?
I second.
Question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 6.4.2, budget review 2026.
It's not for a motion, but a statement of council and administration must review the Village of Beldoon general operating budget and utility operating budget to address the potential taxation shortfalls expected for 2027. Shifts in MB power assessment and provincial property tax reform impacts make and submitted to the province by, and should say November the 15th, 2026. I believe 2027 budget discussions. Council should establish dates in July to start the 2027. Yeah.
Yes, and council has just went through an orientation, the general orientation with the Department of Environment and Local Government, and they did stress there in the financial component that they're highly recommending, especially for new councils, that you start this process early. We, with the clerk treasurer soon returning, I would suggest that we should be looking at dates in July, as early as July. So if it's okay with council, we'll receive the directive to go ahead and arrange those dates, reach out to council and start scheduling those as early as next month.
Just a question, if I may, Your Worship. Friday evening, I had a discussion with the Minister of Local Government, Aaron Kennedy, and he informed me that the legislation had been passed on Friday afternoon, that the multiplier for municipalities has been passed, going from, at the moment, it's 1.4 to 1.7. That multiplier is going from anywhere from 1 to 2. So he said that has been now legislated, and I believe our treasurer should be aware of that, so that when we start looking at that, that she's aware that that's coming.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to number 7, administrative reports, starting with CEO Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So for the social environmental grant report, we did receive 2 requests that came in. Council has been provided with the information, and just for clarity for the public who's looking, we do have a donation policy that allows for certain threshold for administration to approve that. Whenever we receive in requests that either have variance on different levels that can be sponsored, or if there is a request that's higher than our threshold, then it does require a motion of council to approve these contributions. So we have 2 that came in, one from Ecole Academy Notre Dame, and we had one that came in from the Restigouche Air Show. And both of those resolutions have been created without numerical value tied to them. So if there is an amount that council would like to contribute, then we'll have a motion, a mover for item 66 with an amount included, and then another for resolution 67 with another amount included. Council should have in their package the amounts that were suggested by the each entity. So if we need to review that, we have that available. But those are the 2 requests that we've had in for this month.
Anybody want to make that motion? So we'll move on. And next section is financial reports.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I will take this one again just to review the financial reports for the operating fund and for the utility fund. So we had a bank balance carried forward as of April 30th, 2026 of $470,977.69. We had deposits of $9,744, e-transfer payments of $1,040.36. We had direct deposit from the government of New Brunswick for $398,520.26, HST of $52,276.63, and interest revenue of $1,535.04. Checks issued from May 1st to 31st totaled $272,550.98. One voided check of $11,491.50. We had accounts payable direct payment of $98,012.84 and a transfer to the utility fund of $24,420. Direct payment to Service New Brunswick at $10. and for workers' compensation of $2,441.58, bank charges of $339.71. There was checks outstanding as of April for $93,282.96, and checks outstanding for May of $60,149.77. That leaves a current account balance as of May 31st of $514,677.18. Reserve account balance of $3,099,407.47. Operating reserve account balance of $238,139.69, and a gas tax fund balance of $833,729.97. For the utility, we had a bank balance carry forward for April 2026 of $485.56. We had a direct payment of $26,080. We had a transfer from the general operating fund of $24,420 and an interest of $45.23, leaving a balance of $27,145. We had checks issued for $3,589.94, one voided check of $257.89, online bill payments of $1,969.77, with a total of $5,301.82. Checks outstanding for April were $782.03, and checks outstanding as of May were $244.16. That leaves a current account balance of $20,819.98. The reserve account balance of $97,017.76. Operating reserve account balance of $4,205.82, and a trust account balance of $33,902.09. If there are specific questions around the financial reports, we may have to defer until we can consult with the clerk treasurer. However, there is the motion number 68 to accept the financial reports.
So move.
Do you have a seconder? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Bylaws and policies, nil. And so we'll move on to Section 9, motions and resolutions, starting with 9.1, Shore Regional Service Commission's appointments. Do I have a mover for that?
Would we not need to know who was interested in filling the position?
Yeah. Who's interested in becoming a member of the Regional Service Commission Board?
I would like to continue my service on that board.
Okay.
And I also would like to submit my name.
Okay. So do we have a mover for Cynthia?
Whereas the Regional Service Delivery Act requires a municipality to appoint one councillor to serve on the board of directors of the Regional Service Commission when the board has fewer than 6 voting members, and whereas the Chaleur Regional Service Commission Board currently has fewer than 6 voting members, therefore be it resolved that Councillor Cynthia Robinson be appointed as the municipality's second representative on the Board of Directors of the Chaleur Regional Service Commission, CRSC, to serve alongside the mayor.
Do we have a seconder?
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
Motion carried. Section 9.2, election of deputy mayor. Do we have anybody interested in the appointment of the position for deputy mayor, or who wants to nominate an individual of council?
I would like to nominate Cynthia Robinson.
I'll accept.
Could I have a vote? Is there anybody else interested in becoming deputy mayor? Okay, so I'll have a motion, somebody read the motion for deputy mayor?
M, 70. 70, that in accordance with Section C2, subsection 2 of the Village of Beldoon bylaw regarding the proceeds of council, Councillor Cynthia Robinson be appointed as deputy mayor.
Could I have a seconder?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We'll move on to Section 10, general correspondence.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So of correspondence in, we had the SPCA report for May 2026. We had the Schiller Regional Service Commission building report for May 2026. And we had the Universal Rail Tracks inspection record for May 2026. For thank yous, we did receive a thank you for the contribution towards the fellowship evening with the CWL Council of the St. John the Evangelist. And that's all we had, Mr. Mayor, for correspondence.
So we'll move on to adjournment. A motion?
So moved.
Seconder? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Meeting adjourned at 7:17. Thank you.